there, friends. It has been ages since I have been on a road trip or been car camping, anything. And since I'm getting ready to head out on my first car camping trip back in months, I needed to kind of completely restock my pantry since it had been so long. My pantry meaning my dry goods, my non-perishables, my things that I do not need to keep refrigerated, that I pretty much bring with me every single time I hit the road. So I figured it had been such a long time since I've done a video on this topic, and my kind of options and choices that I bring with me have changed so much. I thought it would be helpful to show you exactly what non-refrigeration, non-perishable, shelf-stable items that I bring with me every time I hit the road for easy, fast, convenient options that are still healthy and nutritious. It's also become a really big priority for me to keep my nutrition goals in mind every day. I have found, unfortunately, that if I have even one cheat day, it flares me up, it can completely throw me off track and just really set me back. So I have to really make sure that I'm getting enough protein, enough fiber, enough sodium. I'm not giving anyone else nutrition advice. These are just healthy items that I bring that help me continue to meet my nutrition goals when I am away from home base. So, without further ado, let's get into what I bring with me and what I recommend as good options. Just a disclaimer, if you hear any thumps or thuds in the background, my cats are playing parkour at the moment and bouncing off the walls, literally. So, I'm going to start with my kind of snacky options, and then I'll move into more of like the meals after that. Since I am a Florida-based girl, I have a hard time keeping fresh produce with me when I'm traveling. It is not like our muggy, hot, humid environment. And even when it's colder, it's still muggy. I found that fruit does not keep that well. Although the colder, drier months, it is sometimes doable. Even bananas. Anyways. With that said, I do try to keep some fruit options on me. I do normally have my refrigerator with me, so I will have like bagged salads and things like that. But in the shelf-stable genre, I always like these little fruit cups. These are peaches, but I always get them in water, not the ones in like syrup or anything like that. So I do try to keep that in mind, either in the juice or water. I also love these little pouches. They are so good. And yes, I am a grown adult and not a young child, but I love me a fruit pouch. So, cannot recommend enough. One of my absolute favorite snacks of the moment are these. They're called Smash Foods snack bites. They do have a blueberry one too, but this is the strawberry and sun butter, and they have really good ingredients. It's actually just dates, sunflower butter, oat flour, strawberry juice concentrate, date powder, chia seeds, sea salt, vanilla powder, and fruit pectin. But that's it. So they're and they have, let's see here, 6 grams of protein and 5 grams of fiber in this little bag. So, not bad. They're also really tasty without being too sweet and really filling. If you like Fig Newtons and if you like sun butter and things like that, you'll definitely like them. My other favorite go-to snack of the moment, pretty much anywhere, including home base, it's my chip substitute since I have a really bad chip habit that I still cannot seem to contain when I'm around them, are roasted pumpkin seeds. You can get the unsalted kind. I get the roasted and salted because I need more sodium in my diet than the average person. So These give me a sodium boost as well as a fiber boost. And let's see. Yeah, 7 grams of fiber in one serving and 10 grams of protein. So high fiber, high protein, healthy snack. I also find that some days I do struggle with an appetite and kind of forcing myself to eat. And on those days, I find more of a liquid diet to be very beneficial. And again, keeping in mind that I do need a little more sodium than the average person. And also, I'm trying to get in that protein and fiber. I love these. They're individual bone broth sticks. They have the chicken bone broth and the beef bone broth. This is the beef. But they're just these little individual sticks that you can just put in a mug of hot water. And, you know, instead of tea at night, you can sip on a little beef broth. I know it sounds kind of weird, but they're really good at hydrating. And they have, pretend I didn't just throw that. They are packed with protein, and they're actually quite tasty if you like broth and soup. So, highly recommend. Very handy to travel with, and I even have them around the house sometimes when I'm like having a really hard time eating, but I know I need some protein. This is also, I use it as a meal replacement, but it is a really good high protein snack as well. These protein shakes have pretty clean ingredients, and they do have a 30-gram protein version. They also have a plant protein version with 20 and 30. The plant protein one is good too, but I prefer this one. And when I get it really cold, it's like having a chocolate milkshake, delicious. And I kind of need a lot of protein to start my day now. So this is normally what I grab in the morning after my coffee. But again, shelf stable, so they're going to travel really well. And I also have them at home base, super versatile. They're filling, tasty, and this is my breakfast normally. I try to have fruit with it as well, like a banana or an apple or something, but I always at least have this. Speaking of coffee, before I get into the meals, I wanted to mention I love my AeroPress. I love brewing my coffee with my AeroPress, but sometimes when I am in a hurry, even though the AeroPress is fast and easy, instant coffee is always a better option. All I need to do is wait the 3 minutes for my water to boil, pour it, dump one of these babies in with my creamer, good to go. And this is my personal favorite, either the French roast or Italian roast. So I always have some of these with me. I always have some of these with me, my electrolytes. As you can see, they are very high in sodium, but I need it. I have found if I don't have it, especially if I'm camping, hiking, being more active, I go downhill fast. So always have those on hand. And then these Kind bars. I like the thin ones like these, but the regular Kind bars are great too. These are good for a quick breakfast, a quick snack in between meals. Sometimes I'll have this with like charcuterie stuff as a meal, but I love to have these on hand because they're so easy. I can throw them in my backpack or my fanny pack when I'm hiking. They travel well in Terra, and they're just easy to throw in my bag and always have on hand. So definitely recommend these. Like I said, I like the thins because sometimes I find that the full-size one is a little bit too much if I just want a snack. This gives me a little boost without being too much. Okay, and then my little mini meal options slash filling snacks that I always like to keep with me are these cup of soups. Again, all I need is boiling water to add with it. They're normally higher in sodium. I'll throw, it's 1 packet per 6 ounce. I'll normally do a 2-pack in a 12 ounce of hot water as, again, when I'm having a hard time eating, but I need to get some calories, some sodium, something in me. These are great. Also, now that it's getting cold, it's nice to have in the evening with other stuff to kind of like be nice and warm and cozy. So, good old Lipton cup of soup. And these babies are perfect for lunches, to go with other things for dinners. You can throw them in pasta, in rice, in salad, by themselves, with crackers. I always have multiple of these with me. I've got the salmon, the different tuna variations. There's like 8 million different flavors, or you can just get OG Classic. And then I love these, the plain white chicken. I like them better than the cans because you don't need a can opener. They're less messy. You don't have to drain them. You just rip open the pouch, use it, and toss it. So I love these. Plus, they take up no space since they're nice and flat. So you can just slide them in the sides of your bag or your tote or whatever you store your kitchen stuff in. One of my favorite things to do with the chicken ones especially, but it works with any of them, is to throw them in with like some salad mix and a tortilla and make like a wrap. Or I'll dump 1 or 2 of these in with like the ready heat rice, which is next up. And then I'll throw in like some beans, maybe cheese, maybe have like a taco bowl, burrito bowl, you know, you name it. But it's good to throw in with a protein, something else like that. So again, very versatile. I like things that give me multiple options depending on what my other ingredients are, or if I can use like existing leftovers or things in my fridge with them. As a matter of fact, one of my very favorite super easy meals that I will normally throw in my Hot Logic and then go like for a hike or set up camp, or, you know, like if I'm going to be on a long drive and I want a hot meal right when I get there, is I will dump the rice, the chicken, and then like some black beans. I'll just dump them in one of my glass containers, throw it in my Hot Logic, and forget about it for an hour, and then come back to a really hot, really filling meal. I normally will throw all of this in one thing, and then I'll eat half, and then I'll save the other half. Sometimes I'll eat a third, and then save the rest and pop it in the fridge. Obviously, if you are going no refrigeration all the way and you don't have a cooler or a fridge, leftovers are kind of, you know, not an option. So this might be a little bit much for just one meal. But again, they're normally pretty affordable, and it's still a healthier, faster, cheaper option than going out to eat, especially if you're in an area where that's not really an option. But again, this is my go-to, and I'll get 2 dinners out of it normally, so one of my favorites. Only a couple staples left. Again, this isn't all I bring with me when I'm going on longer trips, but this is pretty much what I have with me every single time to supplement my other stuff. So I always have at least 1 can of soup. I can either throw it in my Joule kettle and heat it up as is, or I can put it in my Hot Logic and heat it. My electric pot, pan, thingamajiggy, it'll only take a few minutes to heat up in that. So super fast, super easy. It's a can of soup. What can I say? And that brings me to my last sort of item, we'll say 2, is these dehydrated meals. I've only honestly ever tried Mountain House, I think. So I can't tell you how they compare to other brands, but I can tell you which ones I like and which ones I don't like from Mountain House, if that's another video you guys would like in the future. But this specifically, these are cheaper than the regular dehydrated meals, and it's just scrambled eggs with bacon. If you bring tortillas, like I mentioned, that you can make the wraps with the other ingredients, you can also double up on your tortillas and get more bang for your buck. You can just heat up some of these. In fact, you could heat this up if you have refrigeration that you can put leftovers in, and you could easily make 2 breakfasts out of this if you added the tortilla, throw a little bit of cheese on there. You got a breakfast burrito. 2 breakfast burritos if you want to save some for the next day. Otherwise, a really big breakfast burrito. Or you can eat them plain, of course. And then I always try to have at least one meal, especially if I'm going to have a really active day. If I think that I might not feel up to making a more elaborate meal, or my other meal, like I might want to put off to another day, or who knows. Always good to have this as a backup, or when it's just a low energy, I don't want to do anything but heat water, but I need something filling kind of day. This is one of my favorites personally, especially now that I've been trying to stay away from gluten as much. I'm not completely gluten-free, so I do still have some of the other ones with that, but I do love the ones with the rice options or the beef stew with the potatoes, veggies, and beef. Again, these are a little higher in sodium, but they have really clean ingredients for the most part, so good option. And you can definitely get 2 meals out of this. I'm going to be honest with you, when I make these, I normally eat the whole thing. But everything fits nicely all packed up in my little cooler dry bag that I can use as a picnic bag if I need to, but I really like that it just packs up and I can throw it around camp easy, from my front seat to my back seat. And that way I pretty much always know that I have several meal options and plenty of snacks to hold me over. Hopefully you found this video helpful. I tried to keep it short, sweet, and to the point, but I'm hoping that after you watched this, you have some good ideas of what to bring along with you that do not require any refrigeration, any kind of special storage, and that are just really easy, fast options that are also pretty healthy too. So, if you have anything else you would like to add to this list of items that you think would help everybody, please let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you again very soon as I get ready to hit the road for my return to camping. Woo! See you soon.